today I'm going to show you how to make pizza. I'm going to start off with a large pot, which I'm going to add some olive oil to, 1 onion, and about 3 cloves of garlic. I'm going to saute these until they become a little bit brown on the edges. To this I'm adding 2 pork chops. Whenever you're making a sauce, if you want to get a lot of flavor out of your sauce, you want to include some type of bone-in pork. Now, since these are going to be cooking for a couple of hours, the meat is going to be extremely tender afterwards, so you can have a nice pork chop as well as a pizza. Adding 1 can of crushed tomatoes, and with that I'm also adding about a half a can of water. Now you're going to want to cover the pan slightly ajar for 2 hours and simmer. Periodically you want to stir it and check the water level, making sure that it doesn't get thick and burn on the bottom of the pan. I'm also adding some basil near the end of the cooking of the sauce, so this is about 10 minutes before I was ready to use it. For the dough recipe, I used the same thing that I used for the cinnamon rolls recipe. I'll put it in the link in the description. Now you're going to want to knead this dough until it becomes nice and smooth and extremely pliable, something similar to what you see here. And then cover and set aside for at least a half an hour to rise. I'm using quick instant yeast, so it rises very quickly. Now I don't have a pizza stone, so instead I have one of those Silpat mats that has a lot of holes on it. Because there's not a full piece of metal on the bottom, it's more corrugated. It doesn't have a tendency to burn as easily as it would on a regular baking sheet, so you want to keep that in mind. Unfortunately, I wasn't really thinking so well, so I folded it over to add some olive oil to the bottom and ended up screwing it up, so I had to let it rest again for about a half an hour until the gluten calmed down a little bit, and then re-put it onto the baking sheet. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil. This is not necessary, but I think it gives it a little bit of extra flavor. And then just as much sauce and as cheese as you like. So I'm using a 6 cheese blend from Sargento, pay me by the way, and it tastes pretty good, but if you want just like the classic pizza taste, just use mozzarella and some Parmesan to it. I put this into the oven for about 20 minutes at 425, at which it comes out looking like this.